What's up, you guys? John here for Obese to Beast. Well, this isn't me working out. This is actually Brian.
Hello.
Who is right here.
Hey.
Today we did a back, bicep, and tricep workout, and we thought we would film it for you guys.
Yeah, we thought we'd try some weird stuff in the beginning because we don't usually do this kind of a grip when we're doing our rows.
Yeah, it was new for sure. It was different.
But it was super juicy.
Yeah, it was very nice.
Yeah, I got one of the best workouts I've had in a long time.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah, it was a nice little superset that we started off with those rows and these pullovers right here. It was very fun.
When you're doing this, I like to. It's kind of where you gotta kind of keep your butt back and keep your chest up, so it feels like people are gonna look at you kind of weird, but you gotta do it right, because otherwise you're gonna activate the right muscles. You really try to pull from your elbows while you're doing this, and when you pull from your elbows instead of your hand, you think about that, you're gonna activate your lats more.
Yeah, and then obviously you're gonna notice that we filmed each of us doing one set of each of these exercises. So you just saw Brian doing this, and now you're seeing me doing the same thing.
Look at them gains.
Look at them gains. So yeah, what I try and make sure is that I keep my chest up, and then I try not to, like, you see me rocking a little bit back and forth. I think that's okay. I try not to do it too much, but I was trying to lift with the big boys today, you know what I mean? Brian's a little bit stronger than me, so I had to pull out the big guns.
Yeah, and then here you go to the next thing.
Then the next thing, and then this is me changing the weight because Brian is too strong. I
always think it's all right if you kind of have your form deteriorate just a little bit, but as long as you're keeping it, at least like 80-85% perfect form.
Yeah.
Because like you get a little leeway, you kind of start deteriorating once you're towards the end of your set because you start to get naturally tired.
Yeah, I really like these a lot. I feel like they've helped my lats a lot because I feel like they just force them to grow. If you make sure your arms are straight, you're definitely using your lats. You know what I mean?
For me, when I do this, it kind of helps me like realize how to contract my lat and like how to actually use my back muscle when I'm rowing. So I like to do this in the beginning, and then I go to other exercises and I've already got the pump kind of.
Yeah. And then obviously we just moved to the lat pull downs, narrow grip. What I like these a lot. Something I try and focus on a lot is just holding it with like the tips of my fingers, almost like just barely hooking it. And like a good tip that I always like to say, a good thing I always like to say is think of your hands as hooks. You know what I mean? Don't try and pull with your arms. Try and pull with your back. So your hands are literally just hooks that are hooked on to the whatever you're grabbing, and you're just trying to pull down with your hands as hooks.
Yeah, totally. And one of the things I like to think about is like just think about flexing that muscle. So like right now I'm trying to hold my lats tight while letting the movement happen, but the whole time I'm trying to flex them. So I'm just trying to flex them a little less hard while I let the movement of the weight go back up.
And by lats, we mean basically your back muscles. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
the muscles. If you don't, I remember when I first started, I had no idea what lat meant at all.
I know, and we're just talking about it. Like, knows. Yeah, definitely your back.
Yeah, your back muscles.
Now this is a T row, so we have the back of the bar actually posted into the wall, so it won't move behind us. And we're using smaller plates, 25 instead of 45-pound plates, so that we can actually get the range of motion.
Yeah, because if you use the 45-pound plates, you're going to be hitting yourself in the face.
You'll be doing like 1 inch range of motion back and forth.
And this was actually the first time that I've ever done these, and I was pretty happy with how the form looked. I definitely felt them. These were fun, man. Yeah, Brian was definitely a lot stronger than I was on these now.
I've just done these more than you.
Yeah.
But for the first time, man, really strong and good.
Yeah, it was fun.
The important thing I think always is just to think about pulling from your elbows.
Yeah,
otherwise you're just
pull from your elbows. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then we moved over. The reason that we have this voyeur shot, I guess you could call it, is because we were getting hawk-eyed by one of the employees that work at the gym. So Brian, because with my GoPro you can't see what you're filming at all. There's no screen. So he thought he was filming me, but he was actually filming half of me and half of the machine I was using.
It's a very creepy shot.
Yeah. It is very creepy. It's like
straight out of the pocket.
It's like you're walking up to someone and they have no idea you're filming.
But just taking this home later.
One of the biggest things that I like to use on this workout is the same exact thing as I said before on the lat pull downs. Is you want to use your hands as hooks, and then you don't even really the range of motion doesn't have to be all the way up and all the way down. As long as you're feeling your lats contract or your back muscles contract when you're going up, that's as much range of motion as I think you really need to use on these.
And as you're pulling it down, and every time you're pulling it down, try to think about pulling your shoulder blades together, really like squeezing them tight together, and then kind of let them spread out as you come to the top.
Yeah.
And let your back kind of widen out. That's the best way to really hit these.
And then it's the same thing. You always want to control that negative too. Don't just let the weight pull you. You want to pull the weight. And then we moved over. This is one of my favorite supersets that I've been doing on biceps. It's kind of similar to what Chris Jones has done recently in a lot of his videos that he's been showing. It's just I do usually 10 reps of hammer curls, and so seated hammer curls, and then I'll stand up, and then I'll basically just rep out as many reps as I can as just normal regular curls. And man, the pump in this is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's so hard. It's cool because you'll burn out sitting down at like 8 or 10 or whatever it is. But then by standing up, you can completely get another. And
you can start to cheat a little bit. You know what I mean? Towards the end, when it's starting to get a little bit.
And you say a little bit. I feel like we should explain that.
Yeah, like, a little bit.
Just a little bit. See how his elbows are still stuck to the sides? They're not moving forward or backwards or to the side, anything like that. Always keep your elbows real tight to your side. Really important on curls.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, look at this struggle face going on.
And then done.
My turn. So I just definitely followed suit on this. He did this first, and I was like, that looks fun. I'm gonna do that as well.
Yeah.
Hammer curls. See the way that we're holding it, where we're not turning the dumbbell as we come to the top of the movement. Yeah. That's gonna focus more on your forearms. A lot of people ask how to hit their forearms. This is definitely one of the greatest exercises for forearm development.
I agree, because I hate doing just forearm exercises.
Yeah.
Seems like a waste of time.
Like wrist curls and stuff. It's kind of weird.
It's like, I don't want to do that. I'd rather do something that obviously it works your biceps too. Obviously, it's a curl, and then it's gonna work your forearms, which is always nice.
And a fun thing to do also is to superset your forearms into your bicep exercises.
Yeah.
So like right now, I'm hitting more biceps, but the first exercises of the first superset, we're hitting a little bit more forearms. So
exactly.
It's not getting combo.
And then here, we're just, you'll see how this goes. We thought that it would be a good idea to film him doing some curls and then just switch out and film me doing some curls. And we didn't realize that we had to trade off in the middle of the
We only have so many hands.
We only have so many hands, so we tried. It didn't work out very well. But with these, I always recommend, like, try not to swing. Like, you want to use basically your elbow as the pivot point. That's here we go trying. It's
pretty smooth. And then
it looked okay, but if you were watching this from not the GoPro, it looked really terrible. It looked like we were idiots.
It was definitely super awkward, but definitely hilarious.
Yeah. So what I like to say is try to use your elbow as the main pivot point. Don't try and like swing. You see people like swinging the weight a lot. Just try and control it a lot, and then obviously the negative is very important. So you're not just trying to drop the weight, you're trying to control it on the way down.
And if you're not feeling your biceps burning, if you're not feeling your biceps contracting, try lowering the weight a little bit so that you're not lifting with your ego.
Yeah,
honestly.
exactly.
Make sure your form is really good, and even if it makes you drop the weight, that's gonna be more effective using a lighter weight with good form than it is to use heavy weight.
Absolutely, I agree 100%.
What are we doing here?
And then we moved over to the scariest named the scariest name thing you can do, which is a skull crusher. Obviously, the main reason you see why it's called a skull crusher is you're dropping it on your skull. So, what my main thing on this one is I try and keep my chest up, and then just I make sure I have my thumb behind the bar. So, because I feel like if I have it in front of the bar, I don't feel it in my triceps as much. And then I try and bring the bar straight down to either the bridge of my nose or even the top of my forehead. It's kind of depending. You can feel it I feel like I can feel it in different parts of my triceps where I bring it down to my face. So, yeah.
You can adjust accordingly. Also, I'm sure there are a lot of people asking why we're doing back, biceps, and triceps.
Yeah, exactly.
This is kind of an interesting routine that we do called the Lohilo, Lohilo, and it pairs kind of odd muscle groups together that people don't traditionally do, but it's a lot of fun. So we do it because it is a lot of fun, and it's pretty good. It's
a lot of fun, and I feel like it hits things enough to where it's going to grow. You know what I mean? Like doing like the back and biceps, chest and triceps, shoulders, legs, split. It just didn't, I feel like, at least for me, my shoulders have always been pretty strong as far as like the size of them, so I don't ever think they'll need to have their own day specifically. It just seems like too much.
Yeah, and this kind of lets you hit everything with more frequency per week.
Exactly.
Which is good for someone who's natural with both.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we moved to just the regular tricep push down. These things, look how strong he is, man. So strong. Yeah. What I try and do, and what I think he tries and do too, is you just want to use your same thing. You use your elbow as the pivot point. You're not trying to like sway back and forth. You know what I mean?
Keep your elbows real tight too. Real tight to your sides. Like, don't let there be any space between your elbow and your rib, because otherwise you're gonna start using other muscles, and you just want to use the back of your arm, your tricep only on this.
Yeah.
Look at this. You're about to see how buff he is.
Not even buff.
Babushka.
Look at that. Look, I have a tricep muscle now, you guys. Are you proud of me?
Man,
I feel like my triceps have been growing more than anything else because I feel like I'm actually hitting them right. Because triceps is actually kind of difficult to hit right.
It is.
Because a lot of times I would almost be hitting my chest when I would do pushdowns or my shoulders.
That's what happens when you let your elbows start coming out too much.
Yeah, so triceps, I mean, it is difficult. So, like, definitely work on you can't just do dips or do pushdowns and think you're doing it right. Like, really analyze your form. That's why I like recording myself because you can see, wow, that my triceps aren't even working at all. If you look at the footage, obviously, if you look at his footage, his triceps are absolutely working. Look at those things.
Aw,
those Tricepticons. This was a fun little superset that we did. We did these rope pushdowns and we moved over to these incline push-ups.
Yeah, incline push-ups.
Incline close grip push-ups because those are gonna hit your triceps a lot more. And we were both just so gassed out by this time.
Seriously.
Because keep in mind, this isn't the only workouts that we did. You know what I mean? We did 3 to 4 sets of each of all of these exercises.
Yeah, and we do a lot of volume just because we both have been lifting for years and years. But you could look at this workout and you could take maybe 2 or 3 from each muscle group. So you can take 2 back exercises, 2 bicep, and 2 triceps. You don't have to go as crazy as we do. Or if you do only back days, you can literally look at all the back exercises we do, and that's your day. You know what I mean? And then with biceps, obviously, you can do a bicep and tricep day, which is what I do sometimes. Biceps and triceps, you could do all of the bicep exercises and the tricep exercises that we did, and that could be your bicep and tricep day. You know what I mean? You don't have to do all these exercises in one day. But man, I was burn on this. This is a really good workout. My arms were fully pumped. Like I could not extend them.
Me neither. And then a lot of people were like jealous of my shirt, I think.
Why do you be jealous?
Because they want to feed the walkers and my shirt's telling them not to.
Are you guys jealous?
Are you guys jealous of my shirt or what?
This is the very last set that we did, by the way.
This was the end of the workout right here, and we were very happy to end this workout.
Seriously, this was the hardest set.
Done.
The very last
I was like, man. It was funny because the GoPro was actually blinking red this whole time, so everyone knew we were filming.
And they were watching us
hiding.
for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it was, that's it right there, man. See? It was a good workout. And this is, for some reason, Brian decided to film himself trying to waterfall this whole thing. It was actually not that bad, but it was a really good workout. Tell them where they can find you at, Brian.
You guys can find me at Humerus Fitness, Humerus Fitness. The link will be in the description below as well.
You guys, look how buff I am.